Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Welcome back. We are in the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit Season 4. This is episode 11, the second session of the final day of the live sessions. For those of you that are listening live, we do have one more live session that's coming up after the final replays. It's a Q&A, and that's exclusive to the people that contribute to the show. And so if you want to contribute to the speakers, sign up to the early access package. I share most of that with all of the speakers. And there's also an opportunity for you to donate directly to CSVS. All donations, contributions are welcome, appreciated. This is really for us to kind of share and give to you, and we enjoy playing in this space. And so we're happy to have these conversations with you. And so just a little kind of logistical bit, given that we're approaching the end of the season. So Susan, thank you again for coming into play. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Well, thank you for inviting me. And yes, we just had a quick chat in the car, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago. Bluetooth, trying to speak to each other. America to the UK, but it worked okay. So I'm very happy to share space with you and see what fun we have, you know, with the guides and see what happens. So my name is Susan Kennard. That's kind of there. You can see that. I've actually just recently become an author. So I'll show you my new book, which is called Awaken the Light Within Your Heart. And I was very blessed to have won the Hay House Writers Competition in June 21, which oh, Kitty's got my book. She's just held it up. And I was given a contract. So last year in October 22, in fact, on my birthday, it actually became published. That was not a plan. That was a universe plan, not mine. And it's in Audible, hardback and softback, and on Kindle as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can experience it, and I recorded it myself. So you get to have the English voice on my book, which was through public demand. Well, my members said to me, "You've got to do it in your voice." I said, "All right."
I've heard people talk about how they love your voice, and so it's great that you did that. And so for those of you that are listening, can you repeat the name of your book?
Sure. It's called Awaken the Light Within Your Heart.
Beautiful.
Okay. It's a channeled book. Okay. So I started off life, in my previous life, I'm going to call it, as a psychologist and a psychotherapist. And I'm known as a spiritual scientist. And the reason for that is that pretty much all of my career was finding out evidence for things. So I did lots of research into trauma. I'm a specialist in trauma. So I did lots of child protection research, drugs and alcohol, domestic abuse, lots and lots of things like that. And then I ended up kind of living a double life because I had a spiritual awakening. And that spiritual awakening was when I was about 27. And it led me to understand that we are not only just this mind and body, but that we are a soul as well, and that we are actually having a spiritual experience. So we might be human, but we're actually having a spiritual experience. But it wasn't that quick, and I didn't decide that then. It was just a little seed of awakening that happened. And it was where I got woken up in the night by somebody who had recently passed. And it was a very dear friend of mine. And so you can read about that in my book. There's a little bit in my book about that and on my podcast as well. But essentially, it led me to realize that we can't just operate from trying to analyze everything and work everything out. We have to also look at soul consciousness. And so that's kind of a long time ago. And now what happens is I really help people to align truly to why they're here. And hence why I titled this, Your Soul is Calling. Okay. So the reason for that is I truly believe that our physical body is the barometer for our soul. And I trained as a neuropsychologist a long time ago, working with the metaphysics of disease. So I understand the science of the body as well as the soul calling and the soul barometer, essentially, for us. And so I do believe that our GPS is always guiding us towards our mission. And if we're out of alignment with our mission, it doesn't have to be spiritual like us, it can be something that lights us up. Okay, that's our mission. When it lights us up, it is our soul's calling. And so, what I kind of feel is really important is that we have to listen. And the next part of my title was, Are you listening? And so, what happens is your body will speak to you constantly, and it will always tell you if you're out of alignment with unconditional love, okay, which of course is your mission. Your mission wholly is about love. And it might not look like that always, but that's where it comes from. And all the beings that work with us come from exactly that place. So it's all about understanding that we are love and that why we're here is love. Okay, that's kind of like a shortened version. And so the people that I tend to attract are incredible, of course, but people that are really ready to either step fully into their mission or they're on their mission and they want to tweak it to go a bit further on their mission, sort of almost like that radio wave that we want to kind of frequency tune it up. And so what I do is I help people through helping them heal their trauma. So whether that is inner child, to do with the physical body healing, whether it is to do with their financial success, whether it's to do with who they are in the self-love, whatever it is, points towards our true knowing who we are and who we're meant to serve in this lifetime without the sacrifice of ourselves. So that's kind of what I do, and that's a kind of a nutshell. And I hold many different groups. I work predominantly with groups, and I offer private sessions to my members, and occasionally on a show, although from spring this year, I'm just going to be offering them to my members. Okay, so being part of my soul family is really the place to be if you want to work with me. And so I run lots of groups. I have a YouTube channel, which I offer free, of course, and there's lots of healing that happens on there. And I have a podcast where I interview really cool people like you, Daniel, probably come on my podcast soon. And we have great conversations, just like you. The way you do it is very organic and you don't sort of plan it too much, and you're just getting your guidance with the questions. So that's kind of what I offer to people. And who I am is somebody who's very barefoot. So even though I see spirit, I hear spirit, I've been a clairvoyant for a very long time, I can see into the body. I work with my galactics and do light language and light codes and activations and many different things. I'm very, very grounded. And you might see me on the dance floor dancing, you know, the night away and having fun and just being a normal person. So often people say, well, you talk to dead people. I'm like, well, kind of, yeah. But I'm very grounded with my talking to spirit.
It brings up something that's really important. And I was rewording something in one of the logistical things of the process last night. And I was focusing on something that somebody had mentioned in an earlier session, and you just finished with that, which is the importance of grounding. Grounding is something that we all kind of talk about in the community. Some people understand it. Some people that are new to the community might not really understand what grounding means. And so I want to share my little bit, and then I would love to have you kind of, you know, talk about it as well. Grounding for me, I love the imagery and the idea of rooting myself with the earth. Grounding is about connecting with the energy of the earth. One of our spirit friends once made a comment about how a lot of people that are playing in spiritual communities and wanting to expand their awareness are forgetting that a lot of their power, a lot of their energy, it comes from earth. We are human beings living a physical form. We are an integral connection with the earth, and we can tap into her energy and connect with her energy and empower ourselves with that awareness in incredible ways that a lot of people don't take advantage of, because they're looking to go up into higher vibrations, up and above into the sky, and it's forgetting that we are grounded and rooted on earth as human beings. And our human experience, and you said this beautifully and I agree with it, our human experience is a spiritual experience.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that a lot of us in the spiritual community forget, because we're looking to connect with angels, with spirits, with guides, and we all view them as being above in the heavens,
Mm.
where it's not actually true.
They're just kind of like here.
They're here, they're with us. But
Yeah.
it's the reminder to connect your energy with the earth. A lot of times
Absolutely.
when you're connecting with energies through these events, you might feel a little bit lightheaded. You might kind of feel a little, the energy might feel a little bit strong at times. If you enjoy it. But if you don't, ground yourself into earth. Let earth help balance that energy with you. Jamie
Absolutely.
Butler, who's one of my teachers, talks about drinking a little bit water, which also grounds you. Eat something, which also grounds you. And so grounding is a really important part of our spiritual journey. And so I would love to get your thoughts on that.
Sure. Well, a couple of things that spring to my mind is when I look into someone's field, I look at the soul star and the earth star, and I look to see how grounded somebody is and how grounded they are in their manifesting in human form. And what it tells me is, are they actually connected to Mother Earth? Or are they, as you said, up in the higher chakras? Are they just up in the higher chakras? Or are they grounded in this human form? And so when I see an Earth star that is kind of just sitting on the top of the Earth, I just get it clairvoyantly, symbolically, then I know that that person maybe has a bit of a difficult relationship with their mother, or they had a difficult relationship with their mother, or they hold an ancestral lineage regarding the mother that stops them from feeling supported by mother. Isn't that interesting? So when they are not feeling supported by mother, and it doesn't mean necessarily in this lifetime, but it could have been ancestrally or something they brought in, I can see that in the field. And as soon as we release that and heal that, the roots start going down, as you spoke about, but the sparkling energy starts to happen in the Earth Star. And that's when I know that that person is actually now really embodied into their humanness on the Earth plane. And the soul star, equally, if I see that there's anything going on where there's a separation between the crown energy and the soul star, it's just an indication for me that the person feels kind of a bit nervous about trusting universe, trusting source, trusting their guides. One of the things I teach channeling, so I can see in somebody whether they've really got that trust or not in the channel for their guides. And when we can heal that, wherever it comes from, their channel is much stronger and they're able to trust more. So that's really cool. But when it comes to the grounding, it is really key because, as you said, we are physical as well. And we were always meant to experience this physical. We're in the we're going into ascension. Of course, we're in this ascension process where the old paradigm of the earth is, I see it kind of more grey in the sense of the earth, and it's the fear-based earth, the kind of old dimension paradigm. And now we see the golden earth, which is the ascension, it's the fifth dimension and higher. And when I see that, I can see people much more in their crystalline earth star. And we can do a process if you would like, where I can take people through this. It's quite quick, but it's really helpful. And it's something that I do with everybody when I work with them. And it allows you to see, are you in that crystalline earth star? Are you really connected to manifesting in this human life? And that doesn't just mean money, that means actually everything you need to carry out your mission. Okay. So, yeah, long answer to your grounded question, but that's really key for me when I look into someone's field. If I see that, I know where they are in the sense of how safe they feel in this world and how grounded they are in their manifesting. Yeah.
It's a really important part of our spiritual journey to, I also talk about integrating what we learned about spirituality into our humanity. It's another way of kind of speaking about this, is bringing in this otherworldly knowledge, but applying it to our humanity is another way that we can ground this. And for me, that's really important. It's an important and an integral part of our ascension and our expansion, is the association that we have with our physicality, the experience that we have with our humanity is an integral part of our spiritual growth. And so before we continue on, I want to, always invite the listeners, feel free to ask questions, raise your hand. We're happy to interact with you. Please don't be shy. And so, Susan, I wanted to kind of, step into the intention of this conversation with you, which is, your soul is calling. Are you listening? And so talk to us about what you mean by that.
So I suppose the way that I like to explain it is that you are the mirror for your experience. So if your mirror of your experience is you're living your mission, or your needs are met, you're happy 95% of the time, and you feel that your life is fulfilled, then you know that you are very much in alignment with what your soul is trying to convey to you. Okay. And there's no judgment with what I'm about to say, by the way. And I'm not a doctor and I don't claim to heal or cure, just a bit of a disclaimer. But essentially, if your body is showing a message to you, so say your body is showing you aches and pains, headaches, whatever it might be, or a dis-ease that you may have been given a name to, then you know that your body is talking to you via your soul. And that's when you have to really listen. Okay. So you can reach out for pharmaceutical and you can reach out for things like that, but that just covers up something that your soul is trying to convey to you. Okay. So hence why I said the disclaimer, right? You get that, Daniel? Yeah, just before. So essentially, it's really important to listen to those things. So whether it's a headache, whether it's backache, whether it's something more serious or deemed serious, we are listening to that because that's our soul trying to talk to us about where we're going next. Okay. So if our mirror of our physical body, or our bank balance, or the home we live in, or the relationships we're attracting, it's all a mirror of our belief systems, I suppose we could say, but I would rather say frequency. Yeah. So as we're looking at our mirror, we know how far we are on our soul's, in our soul's calling, or on our soul's mission. And it's such fun because you can actually tweak it. So if there's something you don't like, say a relationship shows up, or some situation shows up in your life, or something shows up in your body, you can say, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what part of me I need to listen to of what my soul is trying to talk to me about. So, it's on the free gift, which we can talk about a bit later, but one of the videos on that free gift actually helps you to connect with your body and the messages that your body is trying to convey via your soul. So it's really, really important to me and so dear to my heart to help people to understand that the physical body is a barometer. And we came in, and the guides told me that we came in as a soul. We chose we chose everything. We chose our guides, we chose our parents, everything. And we said, how are we going to know if we're out of alignment with love and our soul's reason for being here? How are we going to know? And the one way that we'll know is through our physical vehicle, which carries our soul. Isn't that cool? And if we all remembered that, we could actually say, oh my goodness, wow. I mean, you know, in Atlantean times, we used to step into crystal caves and just repair things by just walking into them with frequency. And actually, I have a whole page of galactic crystal healing chambers that people can step into. And one of them is a physical body healing chamber. But essentially, we have this ability to do this now. And we just need to listen to what our body is trying to say to us. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the guides are saying one key thing is tiredness, constant tiredness. So if you feel constantly tired and you're not really, you know, you're not running a marathon or something like that, or you're not suddenly working 12 hours a day, but you're constantly tired, that is a big indication that you are not living your true heart's desire. Okay? Because when you live your true heart's desire, you're not tired. You don't actually feel like you're working because you are just full of that light that you're sharing out to the world. Yeah. So when we think about that mirror, we can really take responsibility. And I think one of the key things that these last 2.5 years, maybe 3 years now, has shown us, this great awakening that's happened, is do we listen to ourselves or do we listen to someone else to tell us about ourselves? Yeah. And I was actually driving, as you know, quite a long way to get home today. And something came to me and I pulled over and noted it down because I thought it was really important. The guides were giving it to me. So they said, when we are actually connected divinely and divinely connected, and we remember that we are divinely connected, we only listen to our divine connection. We do not listen outside of ourselves. Isn't that cool? So yeah, Sandra, exactly. That's how I felt when it came through. And I thought, yeah, actually, this is what we're learning. You know, I don't believe I teach anything. I just believe I help people remember. Yeah. I might get called a spiritual teacher, but I believe I'm a spiritual rememberer. Doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily though. But essentially it's everything we know everything already. We know everything. When I trained in the Akashic Records many years ago, I walked into the program and I heard the guide say, welcome to the living library, child. I'm like, oh, okay. And literally it was a remembering that I actually knew this before. And it was just reminding me. And this is what we're all being reminded of now. And this great, incredible time that we're living in is a time to take pure responsibility for ourselves and our pure well-being. And I always say to people that we're not responsible for anyone apart from animals and children. You know, we're not responsible for anybody else or anybody's life. No one is the healer for another person. They can be the channel, they can really help somebody on their journey, but we are our own inner healer. And we need facilitators to support us on that journey, but we have to remember that we are the healers of ourselves. And that was another thing that we were meant to remember.
There's something that I want to add to the idea that our bodies are a barometer. And this is a conversation that comes up a lot in the Three Principles community, which is our emotions are there to show us whether or not we are aligned or we're not. That's it. That's all their purpose is. That's all they do is if we feel good, we're not aligned. If we feel good, we're aligned. If we don't feel good, we're not aligned. And so we can make adjustments. Yeah. And so there's many ways in which our body will communicate with us and show us how aligned we are to what it is that we're wanting to create and experience. And so there's a question that was brought up in the chat If you could expand more on the idea of these crystalline healing caves for the body, is this a physical cave that you've created in the UK, or are these energetic
No.
caves?
Wouldn't that be amazing though? Wouldn't
Wouldn't
that be
that be?
amazing?
Come on, that's
Yeah.
the next that's your next step.
I believe now that, you know, we can do anything there. So a couple of years ago, on the Lionsgate portal, I was in a pod, which is kind of one of those flotation tanks, which I have once a month. And I was in the pods, and the guides channeled this to me and said, "These are the crystal healing, galactic healing chambers." I said, "Are they?" And they said, "Yeah, and we want you to bring these forth." And I said, "Okay." I didn't know how to do it. So I just said, "Will you show me them?" Because I don't know how to do it. So, as with everything, I trust my guides. I've worked with them for 30 years knowingly, totally trust them. So I said, "You show me them." And they started to create these remote galactic crystal healing chambers. And my members got to test them out. So the new galactic chambers a couple of years ago were tested out, because I never put anything out to the universe until I've tested it, because that's my scientist part of me. I like evidence. I like hypotheses and evidence and so on. So I tested them out, and I created them and actually recorded them as I'm creating them. So that was really good, because I could listen to them and my assistant could listen to them and so on. And people started to notice that whatever the subject was of the chamber and whoever the beings were in that particular chamber, they were actually feeling the energy of these shifts. So we had fun with them. So we created a money realm, we created abundance, alchemy, just recently created synthetic medicine and old vaccination. So, you know, as a child, you have those vaccinations, and it clears out the residue of all of that, and medication as well. And that's not to say that people shouldn't stop doing what they want to do and what they choose to do. But if they choose to clear out medication from their system, they can step into that. And one of the reasons why the guides channeled that one recently, it's very new, is because they said, as we are stepping into the frequency of ascension more and more and more and more, we have to refine our field. So our body has to reflect that. So the more our body is more crystalline frequency, more light is being emitted to it, therefore reflecting out, therefore creating this golden earth, you know, this light in this planet, the more we have to refine it. So anything that, you know, I've stopped eating bread. As much as I love bread, my guides have been telling me no bread for such a long time, you know? So I'm like, finally, I have to listen to it, because it's too dense for me and I can't really cope with it anymore. And so if I was taking medication, I probably wouldn't want that in my body. You know, it's things like that, you know, so you're drawn to it. So the galactic crystal healing chambers were actually born a few years ago, but continue to expand and grow. And we have one for animals, for children, a protection chamber. And there is one chamber that you can actually buy for someone else. So you can actually gift, which is called the Universal Love One. And that's the only one people can gift. All the rest has to be your soul's choice. So we also have one for a Vax chamber. And I call it a Vax chamber because it is for the recent technology that has been given to people. So it's specifically for that. It's not for old vaccination, because that's a different technology. This is a really new one. And so I did a research project about a year and a half ago, because I was noticing that a lot of people wanted some help and they've been quite unwell. And so I just did a research project and put all these people into this chamber and just wanted to see what happened. And it was amazing, which is why it went out onto my website last year. And I actually got an email today from a really lovely lady who said, "I've been meaning to tell you that when I went to have biofield active something or other, where someone looks into her field, before she was really ill after having the vax, she went and said, 'Can you clear this?' And they said, 'Well, no, but we can see it. She went today or yesterday, had this scan again, and they couldn't find any trace of it at all in her system, which to me is just so exciting. And it just tells me that the frequency of intention of our soul deciding that we want to go in one of these galactic healing crystal chambers is what it's about. So if our soul decides, so that's really what these chambers are. They're your soul deciding. And for an animal, of course, you know, you're helping your animal, you're responsible for your animal. So all my animals are in the pet chamber. The cat is, the dog is, and the parrot is, and they're just in it constantly because I want to make sure that they, you know, they're living their best life basically while they're here supporting us. So they're in the pet chamber, and my children, of course, are in the children's chambers as well, and that's really for protection. So they don't really have any karma, so they're just literally being protected throughout their mission, and it gets rid of any karma that I might have had that they picked up along the way. So that's what the children's one's for. So yeah, that's what the chambers are. I'm always blown away by them. Always really
And
excited.
are these chambers available only to your community members, or are these
No, no,
chambers
no. That's
available to?
page on my website. There's a
Okay,
whole page on my website with all the descriptions of Melchizedek and the angels and the galactic guides, and some of them, what colors they are. Some of them are rainbow colors, some of them are diamond light, you know, all of them are different.
beautiful.
So,
And for
yeah.
people that are listening,
Mhm.
susankennard.co.uk,
Yeah.
there will be a link in whatever description, whatever platform you're listening to. But
And
you can always,
it's on my TV screen there as
yeah,
well.
you can always reach
Yeah.
out to her through that, susankennard.co.uk.
Yeah.
And so, Susan,
Mm.
again, some lovely comments from people that have experienced these caves that feels like a physical
Oh.
cave. I think that's a really cool description. Um, and so I'm interested in kind of, you know, turning this over to your guides.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
If you're willing to kind of play, I would love to just
Of
kind
course.
of go in a direction that they would like us to go next, either
Mm.
having them connect with you, or if you want to channel, however you want to play with that.
We do a combination.
And before we do that, I want to
Mhm.
remind you that you offered to take us through a journey of sorts. I don't know
I
if you
think
want to
we're
do
going to
that.
do, yeah, I think what we're going to do, let me just have a chat with them, but I think that's what we're going to do. Hmm, okay. All right. So they want to take us through, oh, I haven't seen that for ages. They're showing me a particular activation. Okay. So they want to take us through the grounding, the connecting, which is what I always do anyway. And then I believe they're going to bring through, and this is Melchizedek. Okay. Melchizedek is going to bring through an activation for mission. So, which is pretty cool. I'm just seeing that. They always show it to me before it comes through. And I have a feeling that the Syrian High Council are going to come in as well. And they speak light language, and they come through, yeah, and they come through the transmission for the soul. So whatever you need to hear from that, or whatever you need to feel, is what you get. All right, is that okay?
Beautiful. Sounds great.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. So let's come into our heart space. Put your hands on your heart. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just take this time for you, this few moments just for you. And drop down into your heart. So from your mind and your thinking into your heart mind. And to make that a bit easier, you can imagine a golden light, a sparkling light in your heart underneath where your hands are placed. And just feel that expansion as you breathe normally now, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just focus on that light. And each breath that you take, imagine that sparkling golden light emanating through each cell in your body, and imagining that they are lighting up, reflecting this light out to the world. Beautiful healing light through every one of your cells, expanding. And as you do this, you may start to feel more calm and peaceful. And then just draw your attention down to your feet. And as you draw your attention down to your feet, you notice that just underneath your feet, there is a beautiful star. And this is your very own Earth star. And this Earth star allows you to be connected to the part of you that is human, grounded in this earth, in Gaia, and allowing you to feel supported by Mother Earth, even if in this lifetime you didn't feel supported by Mother. Know that you are always supported by Mother Earth. Remembering to breathe, imagine beautiful silver cords from the soles of your feet going down into this Earth star, and then further still down into the golden Earth. And just notice how your Earth star feels. Does it feel crystalline? Does it feel sparkly? Does it feel solid in colour? Do you feel safe? Just notice how you feel as you connect with that part of you, your birthright of manifesting in this human form. Take a deep breath and draw your attention up to your heart, and then passing your heart up to the crown of your head, and connect with that beautiful golden crown. In the ascension frequency, it is a sparkling golden platinum energy. And so imagine that platinum golden sparkling light up through the crown and reaching towards the universe, where you find your beautiful soul star. And this soul star holds all of the knowledge, all of the remembering, everything you need to know in this lifetime. And I want you to imagine that you can go just a bit higher than that. Go higher than your soul star and connect in with that beautiful multiverse. All of those planets and the stars beyond the stars. And some of you may be able to connect with your starseed planet. Just notice how it feels to feel yourself rising higher, to connect with those multi-dimensional parts of you. And then bring that starlight all the way down through your soul star, through your crown, and showering you with this beautiful starlight all over you, all over your body. And it feels like you're in a bubble of light, which feels protective, but also very light and free. There is no restriction, there is just freedom. And then we wish for you to invite your very own team of guides in to be with you. So just invite them to step in, your own council of light. And don't worry if you don't know who they are, if you've never invited your guides in. Know that they are always with you, but that by intending to invite them, you are inviting them to support you and to help you in much deeper ways. So remembering to breathe. So Melchizedek stands here, and Melchizedek is the overseer of the universe. And as I see him standing here, he holds out his book of codes. And this book of codes is for our mission. And so, wherever you are in your life, wherever you are in your mission, receiving this code in a moment will take you to the next frequency of your mission. And as I'm looking at these codes, I'm seeing them like silver symbols. So just imagine when you hear this tone that you are receiving a silver or sparkling symbol, and you will receive it exactly where you need to receive it. So it may be in your throat, it could be in your third eye, it could be in your crown, it could be in your heart, it could be anywhere. And just notice where you feel it going, and that will be exactly the perfect place that it needs to ignite the frequency of the next part of your mission. And so we'll do this part first. So it's quite a high pitched sound. So just be prepared for that. And this is where the activation takes place. So just take a deep breath and just feel the energy assimilating. And so the Syrian High Council are stepping in with me here, and the way that they present themselves is sort of magenta purple beings with a beautiful diamond in their third eye, and they have quite large heads and energy, and they're very polite. And they step in now and they say, "We are very pleased to be here and assist you," the Syrian High Council. So they're going to come in and speak light language, and just feel this language in your heart and just feel if it resonates with you. Some people feel that it makes them emotional because they really recognize it. Other people just feel an expansion in their heart. So just go with what happens with you. And I'm just going to bring them in. Just bear with me a second. They're telling me this is the soul transmission. So it's a transmission for your soul, and they're telling me it's about recognition. So it's about you recognizing your soul's, oh, thank you, soul's calling. Okay, here we go. Oredi, ola nana jiditi la tusha la dita dashna da, oredi shada tusha la nina tola cantitishna da na, oredi should in the da tushna de daishna da tushna da, o dishna da tuta ditishna da nina da da, oredi, onana, orishita. So just stay in that silence for a moment in your heart and just observe how you feel. And in this moment, you can choose to ask your guides a question specifically for you and just listen. And when you feel ready, with no rush, you can open your eyes. How do you feel, Daniel?
I feel quite good. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. I just want to let everybody just kind of settle back in.
Mm.
I'm wondering, can you take us into one of your chambers?
Let me just consult. We can place you, we can place you all in the universal love chamber. This is something that we can do. Yes.
I think that would be lovely.
So, okay. So if you can just all imagine that you are wearing white, whether it's a dress or a robe, and just imagine that an angel is wrapping their wings around you. And you feel this sense of peace and comfort and love. And I want you just to feel that sense of peace as they are showing me the chamber, so I get to see this clairvoyantly. And so in a moment, we will ask you to imagine that you're stepping into the chamber, but we will let you know when that happens. So just 1 second. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you are being led, and this is a beautiful angel actually leading us into this chamber. And as you stand at the beginning of the chamber or the entrance, I want you to just peek inside and imagine that you can see a beautiful crystal chamber or cave. And just imagine that crystal cave or chamber and feel the energy of it. As when you get led inside, you will find your very own crystal healing bed. This is just for you. And I want you to walk inside now. And you may notice as you walk inside, you see many different beings of light. The galactics are there, waiting. The angelic presence are there. Joshua, Mother Mary is here. Many other guides. And Melchizedek, of course, who is there to assist you on your mission. So I want you to imagine that you have found your crystal bed, and it is soft like a massage table. And so just imagine that you're lying down on that bed. And now the guides and the angels will work with you to release any thought forms that you may have that stop you from receiving love from the universe. Any thought forms that you've picked up in this lifetime from childhood, any thought forms from the ancestors, past lives, any beliefs in lack that you're not worthy of receiving universal love, guidance from your guides, and any lifetimes that need to be released. Anything from the Akashic realms that needs to be released. They're saying any contracts, any agreements that no longer serve you. Yeah, thank you. Any shocks, any traumas, specifically shocks held in the bones, they're saying. And they want to remind us that, and remind me that all of these chambers are for every part of us. So not only receiving, but also releasing. Mm. And they work with the energy imprints, our mirror, the reflection that we are reflecting out to the world. And I can see Mother Mary coming in now, and she's coming in almost with a tuning fork as she's tuning the solar plexus and the sacral, all of the chakra system. Any parts of you that are out of balance, out of alignment to receiving universal love and guidance. And Joshua is here holding your feet, allowing you to receive his love, feeling grounded in this life, knowing that you're worthy. And so what I'm hearing is that everybody that's listening now or listening after to the replay, that chooses to listen, that chooses to be present at this time, will be placed in this chamber for a whole week. So to experience the feeling of peace and calm of the universe looking after you, your guides, and all of the beautiful beings that choose to support us on this journey of being human. So I'm just waiting for, I have a little indication when they have set the chamber, so I'm just waiting for that. Thank you. Okay, it is done. So that was tailored really for everybody here. Slightly different. They're always slightly different depending on what we need.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
A lot of thank yous coming forward.
Oh, thank you so much.
One thing that I wanted to kind of introduce, and Susan, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. There was a request for the physical tune-up chamber. And what I would like to invite as a possibility is that, given that everything is love, and we were just in the chamber that is associated with that energy, if there is something specific that you are looking for help with, you've already tapped the energy of love, and you can utilize that. You can invite that energy to work with you in whatever way is specifically appropriate to you as an individual.
Yeah, absolutely. And just see how you feel in that. So set your intention for it. I mean, you're in it now, so set your intention for it. And if you feel the universal love chamber feels right to you, if you choose to stay in it longer, you can always choose to do that from my website if you want to. Or there are many others there that somebody may feel drawn to. There's PTSD trauma one, if people feel they have trauma. And it's really about the intention. But you're absolutely right, Daniel, that being in this chamber now, it'd be interesting to see how people are feeling right now because it's instant. So being in this chamber, you can really just, invite any healing to take place for you, and it will be specific to you.
And so while people are kind of coming back and settling back into themselves from that beautiful journey, again, invitation, feel free to share your experience, ask questions. There's a couple of things that have popped in my head more than once, and so I want to share this. Speaking of healing chambers, I was working with somebody in between live space, and their guides took her into a stone chamber
Mm-hmm.
that would transmute the energy of life into different colors within the chamber according to whatever it is that you were needing in the moment.
Wow.
And so she was invited to go into this chamber through her imagination, just sit
Mm-hmm.
within these incredible stone chamber, feeling all of the different lights and energies that were being adapted and transmuted by the stones themselves in accordance to what it is that they needed or in need of at that moment. And so
Amazing.
I've been reminded of that 3 times now, and so I felt the opportunity to share that with you guys as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that any way that we can remember that we have the ability to really transmute energies, I think is incredible. You know, the old days used to be that we would talk about it. You know, now we can transmute it. You know, I was a psychologist for a long time and a psychotherapist. And so I can say that, you know, I'm not judging anyone with it. I did that. Yeah. And so now I realize it's so quick, you know, healing is just can be instant if we so choose.
And the invitation that I keep on being prompted to share with you is this idea that you can use your imagination to create whatever chamber feels right for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't need to go to my chamber or Susan's chamber or Joe
Exactly.
Schmo's chamber. It's, you know, take the time, take a breath, step into yourself, allow yourself to be guided by whatever, again, your higher self, your team, source energy, the intelligence of life, Mother Earth, the universe itself, whatever energies that you want to play with and associate with, let them guide you into creating a chamber for yourself, and allow yourself to play in that space. Be creative.
We just have to take that time, Daniel, don't we? You know, I take my time out when I go to my flotation tank, you know, once a month. That's my pod, that's my no children, no mobile phone, just me and the guides, right? And so that's often when I get a huge amount of information and courses I'm running and downloading. And it's because they get you. And that's all what we need to do is really take that time to go into that silence and that presence. And that's where we can create anything we want to create, and we can hear what we need to hear as well, so we can really connect with that. What is it that I need to do for the next part of my mission? What is it that I need to heal within me that's going to allow me to do that? And we get those answers when we get out of the way.
And so one of the things that I always like to kind of emphasize with people is to encourage them to step into their own power, to encourage them to follow their own wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
The things that any of us say, if they help you to give yourself permission to let go of your noise, let go of the limitations, perfect. We're honored to help you do that. That's part of what we're here for, is to share our journeys with you, share what's worked for us, not because this is the right way, but in me sharing what's worked for me, it might awaken something in you to go, ooh, I like 90% of that, but I want to tweak that this amount because that resonates with me.
That's been my whole life, to be honest, in all the trainings I've ever done. You know, I always gone, I like that, but not that. And so then you're kind of choosing, aren't you, what resonates with you and what you feel is your truth. And I think that's, you know, we've noticed that over the last couple of years, 3 years, where we've had to listen to what's our truth. You know, what's our truth for us, and what's our truth, what somebody else's truth is their truth, and it's not wrong or right. So it's like we have to come to that. So I do agree with you. Really listening to who we are and what we need.
There's a lot of power and a lot of strength to work as groups. The collective energy with a single intention, it can be very, very powerful. And so this event and other events like it again, I can't speak for other people that create their events, but many of the ones that I listen to and go to, a lot of the intent behind it is for us to expand as a collective, individually and as a
Yeah.
group. And so we're coming into these conversations to share in the energy and to learn from each other, to experience from each other.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of the idea of taking a class, is you connect with people that are going in the same direction as you are. So, I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. If you resonate with Susan, please sign up to her and her groups and her membership and play with her, with her energy in her space. But there's also the reminder, and I bet you that she's going to agree with me. There's the reminder that the intention in all of this is for you to find your own power, find your own connection to yourself. Remember that you are source energy in whatever way that resonates with you, and for you to step into that individually and in the group. And so as you raise, you help other people remember aspects of themselves, because your energy just shifted. They feel that energy and they go, ooh, I want some of that. Unconsciously, and sometimes even consciously, that shift happens. And so as we elevate ourselves within the group, we bring the group with us. And so we all support each other, we feed off of each other, we learn from each other. Susan works in ways that I don't work in. I don't work with trauma. I don't work with healing things like that. That's not the way that I engage with people. She does. That's going to resonate with someone beautifully. And they're going to go, yes, I want to work with Susan. Somebody hears the way that I work and they go, ooh, that really resonates with me. Neither one of us is more right than the other. Neither one of us is providing a path that is more correct than the other. All we're doing is we're sharing what we have learned to work for us. We're sharing information that we resonate with, that we have found helpful in our own journey, with the invitation and the hope that in sharing this with you, it awakens something in you for you to connect with your true self. And then for you to share your journey with us so that we can go, ooh, I love that metaphor. I love that experience. And then we can learn from that and we can expand from that as well.
Yeah. And seeing us all as lights is really helpful, I think, as well. So we quite often do meditations in our groups that imagine that we're all standing together in, this beautiful circle of light, and just shining that light out to the whole collective. And so as we're doing that, people are resonating with each other in the sense of their frequency matches what you're talking about. So it has to be a frequency match. And if we want to expand that, the more groups we do and the more groups that we create, the better it is for humanity. And even if you want to create a small group, like start with a small group, or a Facebook page. So if somebody's thinking, I don't know how to do it, but I really want to do that. And they don't want to join someone else's group. They want to create their own. How amazing is that? Just create something and have a light that you're thinking about sharing with the world. And it might be something you've gone through, hence why I created my podcast, 3.5 years ago, and my YouTube channel, because I wanted people to feel that energy without needing to come into somebody's paid program or their group, or work privately with someone, that they've got access to that frequency and that light, without needing anything else. And that's why I created that. And I think everyone can do that. They can create an avenue to share more of themselves, whatever that might be for somebody. But there's always, what I really want to say is that the things that happen to us in our life, if something's happened in childhood or something's happened along the way, our awakenings, our turning points, are somebody else's healing journey as well. So being able to talk about your journey and your healing experiences allows somebody else to realize, wow, yeah, I've had that as well. That resonates with me. And then they feel like that unity with someone and that they're not on their own with that experience. And that's why, creating these groups is really, really important, because people feel safe within them. They definitely do in my groups anyway. They feel safe within them and they feel they can open their heart to share whatever they need to share on a platform where sometimes our families don't understand us. We've chosen our families, of course, but they might not understand us. They might not get the journey we're on. They might not, our neighbor might not, our husband might not, our wife might not. It's like, but you've got a like-minded group of people where, like this group here, where everyone's coming from their own journeys, their own lives, but they're here in this space because they have a resonance with the subject. And you can't always talk about that with your um, nearest and dearest. That's what I find with my soul family. They say, oh, so refreshing. I can actually talk about my experiences and no one's going to sort of like say you're weird or, judge them or anything. Yeah.
So again, invitation to anybody that's listening live. Feel free to interact with us and ask questions if you wish. I would love to kind of explore this idea a little bit further of your soul is calling, because this is a big part of what we're stepping into, this collective shift that we are all speaking about and experiencing.
Yeah.
I would love to kind of have you expand on that or kind of take that as a subject.
Sure. So I love the work of Dolores Cannon, and she talked about the wave of volunteers. And if we think about this time and we think about us all being souls having this human experience, we all chose to be here at this time. And if you've got this feeling that that there's something you need to be doing or somewhere you need to be, or in an example, maybe you've been in a relationship for a long time and it just doesn't work for you and it's not healthy, then your soul is talking to you and saying, this is for you, something else is for you. And I honestly feel that the fact that we are here at this time, I don't mean on this call, but here at this time, that we've chosen to come in at this time, that we've chosen to be here during this incredible awakening. It's not the first time that we've been here. We're not doing this lightly. This is like doing a master's degree, and probably even more than that. We're not at school. We're doing a higher degree here because we had to. And it was the time that we had this opportunity to do it. And our soul, our true inner essence, our true GPS, our knowing, knows exactly why we came. And what gets in the way is our belief systems about ourselves. And they come from a set of experiences of things we've been told, experiences we've had, belief systems that were not even ours that we chose to take on. And these stop us and they put up heart walls. And these heart walls are preventing us from truly stepping into that light. And visualizing that, you can see that you can imagine that wall. I have a process actually in my book, one of the processes, and it's called the emotional wall. And I use it a lot with people because it allows you to see what is it that's preventing you from your true mission. And quite often it's when we feel separated from source. And when we feel separated, we're never separated, but when we feel separated, we feel like we have to put up this protection. And then we can't hear as clearly where we need to be. But our soul is constantly calling. And so if something shows up in your experience of your mirror, which is maybe anger or frustration or sadness or shock, really look at why that has experienced. why you have experienced that in your field. What is it? What part of you needs tweaking? What part of you needs to listen more? That's your barometer, and you can really see that. And your soul is constantly saying to you, you are this magnificent being of light, just choosing to have a vehicle, which is your jacket, which is your body. And that's just carrying your soul. And so make the best of it. Do what you truly want to do in this life. Do what lights you up. When you wake up in the morning, send that light out from your heart and just say, okay, where do you need me? Where can I best serve? Okay. Just that intention. I do it every morning. So where do you want me? Where can I best bring my light to the world? That's what I always do, because I don't meditate in the morning. I have two children. I just say, where would you like me? Show me. Bring those people to me who need to resonate with me. And just by doing that, you are listening and saying, right, okay, I'm ready for my soul to take me wherever it needs to go. And just that simple expression of sending that message to the universe is you are saying, show me. And so what sometimes happens with that is something that's in the way. And that's where the emotional wall process is amazing, because it shows us where we put up that wall. And so we get to imagine that wall, see ourselves behind it, and we get to see the child standing next to us, which was the age where we decided we'd put up that heart wall. It's so much fun. And then we heal that, lots of ways that we do it, but we heal that inner child, bring that child into our heart, the wall disappears, and we can step forward, that piece healed. And in psychotherapy, we would call it a fragmented self. But in spiritual energy work, it's just a little fragment of dust that just needs to be more light. Yeah. So then we step through the threshold of where the wall was, and people say to me that they feel this sense of just release, because that part of us, say you were 4 years old, you've been acting like a 4-year-old regarding your opportunities, regarding your true mission. And if you're 4, you're not going to be, creating a YouTube channel necessarily and wanting to be seen. That takes a little bit of healing before you do that, right? You want to be more of an adult doing it. So that little part of you is saying, I couldn't possibly do that. I couldn't possibly be seen. Yeah, you might have been told, just be quiet, go upstairs, play by yourself. Yeah, all of those things. So we get to heal those parts of us. It's my favorite thing to help people heal those parts of them, because I watch people just expand and grow and listen more and more to their soul's calling. And I believe, truly that everyone's mission is about living your heart's desire. And that could be somebody who just, walks around and looks after the animals outside, or, is a gardener, or sweeps the street, or works in a shop, or does whatever, as long as it lights you up. If you feel great, if you get so much from that, that to me is mission. It doesn't have to be what I do. It doesn't have to be what you do, Daniel, or anyone. It can be anything that truly lights you up, but it's always of service. Always.
There's a couple comments that are talking about how powerful the emotional wall is and how helpful it's been. Some
Oh,
people are using it with the people that they work with.
mm-hmm.
There's a question of where do we find the emotional wall? Susan mentioned that it's within her book, and she also includes it as part of some of her programs and some of her projects.
Yeah.
But the easy way
So
at this point
my
is,
Audible book would be good if you want to do the emotional wall and listen to me take you through it. Then Awaken the Light Within Your Heart, the Audible version, has got, in part 3 of it is all my processes, the inner child ones. So there are 8 or 9 processes in there that you can do, and I'll take you through them. Or if you prefer to read a book, then you can read a book and take yourself through it that way. But the Audible version, which is, you can get it on my website, or you can get it on Amazon. is me speaking it through. So it's a really good one. There's some amazing processes in there. Things that, time traveling is another really good one, where if you actually can remember a particular thing that's happened to you, and you've actually, you can see it in your mind. Maybe it was a teacher said something to you, when you were younger, or there was a car accident, or there was something, and you remember it and you can see it. That time traveling process is really good, because you get to freeze that, heal it, and bring it into your heart, and it's no longer there in your field. So that's another really, really good one. Oh yeah, Roshni, thank you for reminding me. Cutting of the ties process is really strong, because um, you can cut the ties with forgiveness with anybody in your life now, and also those that have passed over. So if you have something unresolved, oh, my book's Awaken the Light Within Your Heart. Yeah, someone just asked. Um, so if you say, for example, you didn't get a chance to say the things you needed to say when you were here and somebody passed over, might be to your father, or somebody in your family or friend, you can actually do that process and cut the emotional ties, not only from this lifetime but all lifetimes. It's a really powerful process. So if you're in a relationship, for example, and things are really difficult, before you close that relationship deal, always cut the ties first, because it could be that you've got past lives there, that are showing up that need to be healed. That's really powerful. And if before you get married, before you enter another relationship, always cut the ties, with the marriages you've had, before you enter into a new one, because you're still contracted, even though you've signed the paperwork, you're still energetically contracted. Okay. Oh, and just a little note, funny, they're having a laugh with me. If you want to get married in this lifetime, don't ever say from for death do us part, because you never die. So actually what you're doing is you're keeping that marriage contract literally the whole time. So yeah, I can feel the guys coming in having a laugh. So basically, always clear those contracts. I'm married to God. Loads of things like married to God. All those contracts come up. So yeah, Roshni, thank you for that. Cutting of the ties process is in my book as well.
And so there's a couple things that I want to add to this conversation. And you mentioned this almost in passing, but I want to shine a little bit of light on this.
Mm-hmm.
You made a comment in passing. This is a lot of fun. And I want to emphasize this. Look at your healing journey and look at these techniques and these ways to look at your past as fun. Enjoy them. It's a way to play with space. Do you need them? No. Are they helpful? Yes. Can you enjoy them and play with them and do them for the fun of it? Absolutely. And so I want to just kind of highlight that, because a lot of people get into this idea of techniques, and technique is work, and technique is effort, technique is struggle, technique is,
it's not,
and it's not. It doesn't have to be. We can look at all of these things as, ooh, let me go play with this aspect of my past. Let me go play with this aspect of my future. Let's play with this aspect of my awareness. Let me explore that with this perspective and this point of view, and it can be fun.
And my processes aren't long. So, I take them through the longest would be 10 minutes of me taking you through a process. So about 10-15 minutes. So most people have got that time, to take.
Yeah.
It's when they're really long processes, people don't really want to kind of go into them because they haven't got the time. So it's quite handy.
And again, I want to emphasize this. If you go to the website in the bio of Susan's section in my website, in this event's website, you will see the title of her book with a link to an Amazon page where you can purchase the whatever format you like. Kitty mentioned that she has the audio and the book itself because she likes reading while she's hearing it happening. And so, get whatever format works for you. There was a request earlier, and I want to honor the request. The energy hasn't really been going towards doing individual readings for people. That really hasn't been
No.
where this conversation's been going. So, but I do want
I
to,
sometimes do that on my YouTube channel. So if people want to find my YouTube channel, I sometimes do that. So when I go live every week for at least 20 minutes, and sometimes I do that. So they're welcome to join me there if they would like to.
yeah. So please reach out to her if you're resonating with her and you want to have messages from the team that she plays with. Please reach out to her.
And on my events as well, I mean, we do astrology. I'm an intuitive astrologer as well, and we just did the full moon. In fact, it's the full moon today. Such a beautiful time to do this conversation. Full moon in Leo, and it is all about shining brightly. And the guides have all come and they come through and they do it in an intuitive way. So we look at the astrology, but it's very much the intuition. And I do a card for every house regarding that full moon or new moon. So people get like mini readings there as well. So if they fancy coming on my astrology event, they can.
And for people that are listening to this and are accessible to the website,
Mhm.
those of you that are listening on the podcast or in the YouTube, much later in the future, I apologize. But for those of you that are kind of current to this conversation, on the bio, Susan is offering 2 free gifts. She has a transmission, which is in the special invitation that you can download and listen to directly from the page. And she also has a free online course, call it an online course, where she presents a lot of information. Can you kind of talk to us through that a little bit?
Yeah, it's called Awaken the Light, Awaken the Light Within. And it is a video course where I take you through grounding, connecting. So we do that process slightly differently. Then we work with our guides. So one of the videos is helping you to connect with your guides. It's one of the things that I teach is working as a channel and working with our guides. So I created a video so I could really help you connect with your guides and feel the signature of your guides. So that's one of them. And then there's another video which is to connect with the messages of your body. So what is your body trying to tell you? So whatever's going on with your body, you can really connect with that and listen. So there are actually 4 videos on that video series. And just to say, if you do download that, there is an enroll button. So when you click on it, lots of people don't press the enroll button, and it's clearly there, but you have to enroll and then you get the videos. So don't just click it and think the videos will come up. You have to enroll. So I'm just saying that because quite often people say, well, I can't see the videos. And it's because you actually have to enroll. Yeah.
And so, as always, invitation for you to reach out to Susan directly. Again, susankennard.co.uk. Information will be in all of the descriptions, with a link to connect with her. If you resonate with her energy and you want to work with her directly, either individually or through her groups, again, reach out to her, let her connect with you, and then you can collectively figure out what's the best way for you guys to work together. We have a little bit of time left, and I wanted to just kind of pass it over to your team once again, Susan, if there's anything that they
Sure.
would like to kind of leave us with.
Let's see. We have to see who wants to speak first. Okay. So this is the Ninth Dimensional Palladian Collective, and they're very pleased to assist us. And they're coming in, and they are, yes, okay, thanks. They're saying that they are very excited about the transformation that we are going through, and they appreciate that we don't always feel excited by this transformation. They're showing me, as they're showing me this clairvoyantly, they're showing me that how they see us and how they see the earth transforming. And they're saying that as we notice that some of you can still see the old earth, we notice that some of you still have one toe or one foot on the old earth. And we ask you to trust, and we ask you to take that leap of faith to know that you have this true knowing within you, and that we are always there watching and supporting and seeing your light grow brighter and brighter. As we look at you, we see you as perfect in your divine glow, and we wish that you could see yourself that way. We would invite you to remember, when you put your hands on your heart, to remember that you are this light and that you have this incredible power within you to know exactly who you are and what your path is next in front of you. We would invite you not to question where you are going, but just to listen and to love yourself every day more and more as we love you. And you cannot feel this love in the way that we would like to express it to you, because it is something that you have never felt in this physical form. But we would like to tell you that we share this love with you every single day that you live on this earth plane existence. And we continue to love you when you choose to no longer be on this earth plane existence. Let's see what else they have to say. They just keep saying there is great love for you, and that this great love exists within all of you as it exists within this new golden earth that you are creating. And to remember that every time you step forward, imagine the sparkling, beautiful, unconditional love that you spread through this world. And never forget your incredible passion for choosing, your passion for choosing to be here at this time. You chose it. It was your gift. It was your gift for humanity. And so it is.
Beautiful.
So that was the Palladians. They truly showed me. I mean, as they're showing me, it's almost like they are so light. They're sort of almost like bluey, silvery light to me. And they were showing me the gold, the new earth. And they were looking down and they could see us as beings. It's really hard to explain, but us as beings. But all they could see was, all they were showing me was light. So each one of us as a light, just creating this new golden earth. And I think the main message about it is never to doubt that. Never doubt our life and our life. Yes, thank you. Never doubt our life here, but also never doubt our light and why we're here.
It reminds me of the fact that Spirit on a number of occasions has shared to me in different opportunities. They say things like, if you could only see the way we see you, you would transform just in the knowing of the way that you appear to us. And so it's that reminder that, we are incredibly beautiful from who we are and what we are, and that we shine in this incredible, majestic way. So it's a beautiful reminder. So Susan, you as a human, anything that you would like to kind of close the conversation with?
As a human. As a human, wow. I think the key thing, and I say this to my children, I have 2 teenagers, and I always say to them, when you make choices, do them from your heart. If it feels a resonance in your heart, if it feels that it lights you up, then it's probably a good thing for you to do. And if it doesn't feel that way, then it probably isn't. And I live my life like that. So I make decisions from the place of, does it feel good? Is this something that I feel is a resonance to me of my journey? And I think if we can all live like that, not listening to what someone else says, no one can do your journey for you, and no one knows you. You know you. And just remember that. that you know exactly where you're supposed to be, and just listen to your heart, because your heart is always showing you. Heart mind.
Beautiful, beautiful reminder. There's a lot of thank yous in the chat, Susan.
Oh, thanks everybody. Thank you to all the ones I know. Thank you for sharing your light with me, and thank you to all the ones I'm just meeting. So thank you so much for that.
And so there's a lot of references to how wonderful her community is and how much people have learned through it and healed in it. And so I just wanted to verbalize that, because I'm not sure if she's had a chance to read them.
No, I haven't. I thought I might be distracted if I read all the messages.
I figured as much. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you don't get a chance to read them. For those of you that are with us for the next session, it is Kitty Foss. She is another returning speaker. She is our storyteller astrologer. It was funny, yesterday she and I were having a quick conversation. She mentioned, I'm seeing a lot of similarity in everybody's message. And I went, no, they're all different. She's like, no, they're not. So she's going to she's already told me that she's going to consolidate the season for us, which I'm really looking forward to. So feel free to join us. The closing ceremony will happen immediately after her session. So it'll be the same session. I just take a 5-minute break just to give people a little bit of a breather. And then I go into the closing ceremony. It isn't very long, but it's just basically gratitude to all of you and all of you and all of you for being here and playing with us. So please join us. It is technically the last main live session of the season. It'll be in 30 minutes. The email with the link should have gone out by now. So Susan, again, thank you for coming into play, and looking forward to connecting with you again in the future. And for those of you that are with me, as always, you know that I finish off the sessions with being spirit, being human, simply being from love.
Beautiful. Thanks, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more. Have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.